Hey guys, how are you? Welcome to the stream. Yeah. So I saw a question that was put to me on the Discord, so I figured I'd answer that question. It's I guess a high-level tech question. So let me just jump into it, and then we'll do the usual Q&A. Here we go. Boom. All right. So here we go. So Snowflake. So he says, I'm learning Laravel currently. Laravel is a PHP MVC framework, the predominant one in the industry. It's one of the best MVC frameworks in the world, actually. I can create PHP apps like blogs, e-commerce, etc. easily. But as I am working with Laravel, there is much code I don't understand. I think that I may have jumped earlier into this framework as I am not fluent with OOP and advanced PHP. So I'm asking that when I can jump into Laravel and how much PHP should I know in order to work with a framework. I would appreciate if the community would help as well. So I assume when he says he's comfortable using PHP to build blogs, e-commerce sites, etc., I guess he has not done that with Laravel. I assume he's not done that with Laravel. I think that if you don't understand OOP, why you create objects, the basic function of object-oriented programming, the basic constructs and so forth, you should learn that because all the modern frameworks, whether it be Laravel or E or whatever, Django in the Python world, Java Spring, whatever, they're all OOP based. So you should learn a little OOP. If you go to one of my older sites, killerphp.com, about 800 years ago, I wrote an article specifically on the basics of OOP. Killer P. Now OOP has not changed, and it's a 20-step article. I'm just pulling it up here so you guys will have it. Here it is. Okay, hold on. Let me just get to it. Yeah, here it is, killerphp.com. And so I wrote this piece for a magazine years ago. So you get it right on the homepage. Is that it? Yeah, I think this is it. There you go. This is it. Old Stef, young Stef. So steps 1 through 5. You got the steps here. There's 22 steps. You got the source files. You got a PDF as well. I even have it translated into Spanish. It was very, very popular. It's still pretty popular. I think perhaps many hundreds of thousands of people have learned OOP from me with this article over a year. So it's very, very simple. Simple steps. Step 1, you create your files. Step 2, the code is all detailed for you, and there's some videos as well. So this is free. You should take a look. So you have to learn OOP. No matter what, if you're going to be a modern day developer, you have to learn OOP. So it doesn't teach you everything about OOP, but it will teach you 95% of what you need to know. And then from there, you be good. The only thing is I use var here, and I think now they've moved away from var, but whatever, it's an easy fix. And that's about it. So check that out. Killer PHP is one of my ancient sites on PHP. And if you're interested, you could probably find some, if you go to my blog, you find some old articles where I'm trashing Ruby back in 2000 and, when was it? I was trashing Ruby back in, 2006 or something like that. I'm an old school Ruby trasher, and you can see some of the responses I got. So I'm pretty proud about that. So anyhow, so yeah, so if you're learning Laravel and you don't know OOP, you better learn OOP. Once you have that, just jump into Laravel. One of the big advantages of learning a framework is to learn, one of the big advantages of learning a framework is that you're going to learn best practices. You're going to see how these mature frameworks like Laravel, which is very well designed, you're going to learn how highly experienced developers structure your typical web app. So that, besides learning and leveraging the power of the framework and having that huge value once you start using it in real-world work, you're also going to learn how to write better code. So yeah, that's a couple of reasons why, there's a couple of reasons why you should get into a Laravel. Let's see what else anybody says. Hold on. I'm going to throw up Discord again. I think there's another question up in there. Desktop, array. Let's go. So answer that. Another guy asked, I did an internship with a guy that primarily used Laravel, and he taught me to make sure you fully understand PHP before you jump into Laravel for what it's worth. Yeah, you have to know, especially your OOP. So take a look. Go to killerphp.com. Just type in killer PHP object-oriented programming or object-oriented PHP. It will appear on Google for sure. And away you go. By the way, you notice, look, I have a Discord. So you should definitely jump into the Discord. We have well over, do we have well over? I think we have over 800 members. I don't know if it's well over, but it's very new. It's all recent. It's like about a week old, this thing. So it's pretty good. You can interact with people, get help. Yeah, 812 members, so it's not bad. So yeah, I invite you to go check out the Discord server that I set up at the request of everybody involved. So before I go on to the next subject, I had a weird thing happen to me today. Oh, by the way, give me the thumbs up if you will. It's good for the Google algorithms, if you don't mind. So I have my typical coffee shops that I go to, and if I can't get to them, I go to McDonald's, right? I go to McCafe. And McCafe is not it's not bad coffee, not great, it's not bad. But I had a weird thing happen to me today. So if you see on the side when you go to McCafe, you get these stickers. Can you see? I don't know. Can you see? Boom. You get these stickers here, and some guy just went and grabbed my sticker right off my cup. I was like standing around, and he said, "Hey, can I have your sticker?" And he just went and grabbed it and walked away. So it was a heist. It was a McDonald's sticker coffee cup heist. First time that happened. Anyway, what else is there? All right, so I'm doing now recommended books. So for people who are studying the Lizard Wizard, all my advanced psych training, I'm going to start breaking down some of the sources of my knowledge. So one book I'm profiling this week is The Naked Ape, one of the most important books I think I've ever written. This is a book I have from ancient times. See, the pages are all yellow. So I bought this book eons ago, and I still have it. You should read this book. Zoologists basically use zoological technique to look at human beings and how we interact and how our societies work, etc. It's very fascinating. They apply those techniques, and it's going to give you some insight into your own character and everybody else's. It's going to help you in many aspects of your life. If you're totally new to coding, check out my web design book, Web Design 1. Find it on Amazon. I wrote this several years ago, but it's still 100% accurate, up to date, because I wrote the book to be evergreen. You can find it on Amazon. I don't make any money on this. I got paid up front, so I'm just recommending it because if you like to read and you're a beginner and you want to get in quickly, this is a good book for you. And finally, if you are an intermediate coder, let's say you've completed my Studioweb courses, my web stack courses, and you're starting to write commercial code, I recommend this book on refactoring. This is the Java version. There's a JavaScript version. Links below for this book as well as the other. So that's my book recommendation. All right, let me just do a little Q&A. Thanks for the thumbs up, guys. Let's see. Let's go back up. All right. I'm going to get some questions. First time here, not what I was expecting. I don't know. What were you expecting, man? Hey, maybe Stefan makes a realistic scene with Blender. This is just an intro bit. Good evening, Lakeland, Florida. How are you? Orange County, California. UK, very cool. Even though I often skip past the ocean intros, it makes me happy to know it is there helping to balance the internet. That's why I put it in there. It's good to step away from code. It's good to relax, chill out. It will make you more productive. Hello from Jamaica. Very cool. Mr. Hologram, how are you? This is the official channel secret hand symbol. Hello from Lithuania. Been a while since I caught you live. Hey, man. Thanks. Well, thanks for joining the stream, dude. What else we got here? From Sweden. Hello. How are you? Let me just turn down the gain on this. A little too bright. There we go. Better. Iran, hello, hello. Welcome to the stream. 800 years ago. He's only 169 though. I travel through time in mysterious ways. What can I do to motivate people and uproot disinterestedness, or what I think is all around, to help raise morale, mood, to do stuff? Well, there's a bunch of different approaches. What I would suggest you do is, if you look below, there's a link to my Lizard Wizard course, which is going to teach you all about that. And it's going to help you to really understand about moods and how to change people's moods, etc. It's pretty comprehensive. Why are you so against Ruby? I'm not really, it's just a joke. Did you see the thing about Ruby using the wrong license? Yeah, that was like a couple months ago, wasn't it? I think they rectified this. Hey, Christy, how are you? Good night. I mean, good evening. Nathan, hey, Stefan, after joining your live stream a few days ago, I bought your website course. Thank you. Also, a question, which language is the best for robotics? Any idea how to get into that and where? Well, I would complete the web stack course because it's going to give you a good foundation in overall development and programming. And then I would look into robotics. I would imagine Python might be a good choice. But also it might be C or C++ code as well for robotics. You would have to look into that. Just do a Google search on that, and I think you'll be cool. Thanks for picking up the course. Let me know how it goes. If you have questions, you know how to reach me, right? Join the Discord. That's a good place to. Hi, Stefan. Which tools do you use in your workflow when coding? PHP, mess detector code, sniffer, and VS Code. Any tools you use for JS or CSS coding? I would pick just a real good IDE like VS Code or I don't know. It's not as popular as much anymore, but Sublime Text. But of course, VS Code is basically a clone of Sublime Text. That's largely a personal choice. But yeah, a good IDE, a good code editor is crucial. So find one that you like and it's functional for you. Then from there, also what your workflow is also depends on the type of deployment you're going to be doing, what your target server is. Are you working with a group of 10 developers or just solo development? That plays a role in all that as well. I'm having issues with all the form functions have in JS. Should I move on instead? I'm trying to understand them. Yeah, if you understand the basic language constructs of JavaScript, you understand basic DOM manipulation, XML HTTP object, which is Ajax, then I would just move on and go on to other things. You learn so much by actually doing real-world projects. If you look at my Studioweb courses, I balance them out to teach you what you need to know to be able to move forward, and so you can get into real projects as quickly as possible. Yeah, you can't be expected initially to know and learn everything. You learn through a process of experienced exposure, if you will. That's how I learned how to fight as well. So once you got your basics down, my boxing coach would put us right in the ring. We start sparring. A lot of times we'd spar with him because as we were sparring, he would correct us and then proceed to punches in the head and the ribs. But you learn. And so you have to get away from tutorial hell, if you will, and just jump into the game and just learn as you go. This is a normal part of the process, okay? When should you use OOP in JS? I would probably doing that more on server-side coding, personally. If you were doing very complex front end, I would use something like Vue.js or React and see what design patterns they suggest within that community. Yeah. You use OOP, the need for OOP rather becomes more important as the scope of the project increases, as it gets bigger, more complex. And OOP becomes more important when you have more than one developer on the project, so that you can segregate out work to different developers. Hope that answers that question. You were a few times talking about write speed versus execution speed. Write speed versus execution speed. Yeah, generally speaking these days, because hardware is so powerful and networks are so fast, I would argue, and the market proves that write time speed is far more important than execution speed for 99% of the projects. Young nerdling noobs are always concerned about, oh, what happens if I have to scale to 10 million users? How often does that happen, right? It's like, what are the possibilities that you're going to be working on a Facebook level application, at least the core functionality? It's very rare. So you have to be more concerned about write time speed. That has to do with nimble languages like PHP and Python and JS, as opposed to much more verbose languages like Java, C#. I'm not dissing on those languages. It's a lot more time consuming to write something just because the languages are much more dense. Also, you have to look at your workflow and the tool sets that you use to help with your write time speed. Also, setup time. To set up PHP environment, to set up a JavaScript environment, well, server side is a little bit more complex, but set up a Python environment, very simple. Set up Java, it can be a real pain. Next time, drink coffee with a gun. I should have been ready with my fist. No, I'm just kidding. What is the fastest language for writing, in your opinion? PHP, JS, Python? It's job specific. For server-side web application development, I think PHP is the king, personally, most of the time. Of course, if you're going to, client side, you only have one choice, JS, but they're all good. They're all very good. A lot of it comes down to personal choice. Do you read Jared Diamond? No, I don't. Hey, Anissa Vaqueen, how are you? Just joined the Discord. Ah, very good. Very good. It's about time, Nunchuck. How many people joined the Discord? Okay, we got Nunchuckers in. Cool. Yeah, by the way, if you want to interact with this growing community, over 800 now, I invite you to join the Discord below. All right. What you think on You Don't Know JavaScript book? I haven't read it, so I have no comment. Yeah, remember to like. How are the likes doing in this stream? The likes are pretty pathetic, dudes. Pretty pathetic. 98 people and only 32 likes. That's a 33% like to eyeball ratio. So I appreciate you raise it a little bit. Do you recommend this book, Beginning PHP and MySQL from Knowledge Professional, 2018? That's an old book. They just kept updating it. I haven't looked at that book in many years. But you should check out my stuff. Links below. Interactive training, instant response. Aloha from Serbia. Hey, Stefan, hello from Bosnia. Very cool. PHP is good for beginners, for back-end developers. Yeah, for sure. Easy to get up and running with. Hey, Stefan, I found you on Spotify in an interview. Very insightful stuff. On Spotify. Okay, that's cool. I wonder how I appeared there. That's good. I'm glad you liked it. Thanks. Hey, yay, buddy. How are you? Sup, Stef? Love from Florida. Hey, man. Thanks for joining the stream. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to make it down to Florida this year because of the whole COVID thing. Canada is like, I won't get into it. But next November, I'm going to be there for sure. Hey, Stefan, do companies ignore your application if you live like 30 miles away from the job? That's a good question. I don't know. I wouldn't think so. If it wasn't Rails, it was Mime Magic, a core library for Rails. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what it is. That's about the problems they were having. Hey, Stefan, would you recommend Webflow or WordPress for rapid development? I currently develop in Node.js. I think that if you're a Node.js developer and you want to just develop front-end GUIs, I would definitely, it's Webflow for you, and then you can grab the code. I'm pretty sure from Webflow you can just extract the code. That's my recommendation. Why do Java developers wear glasses? Because they can't see sharp. Hey, Stefan, I just got a new job, Ruby on Rails. How do you familiarize yourself with brand new code bases? That's very cool. Well, congratulations on the job, by the way. And because it's Ruby, I'm sure it's fairly well paid, if not very well paid. So a good job on that. I would ask your fellow developers, and I think you're just going to have to explore the code base on your own as you learn to develop things. Maybe you can ask the team if you can check out. I'm sure probably everything's on Git, so just check it out and start exploring the code base yourself. You know, you'll just pick away at it. It will become familiar. Hey, Stef, I just got my first job as a full stack developer, but sometimes I feel like I'm still not earning my pay. I look at seniors and other guys and they do just 10 times more tasks than me. Well, that's just because you just got your first job. Don't worry, man. Don't sweat it. It's expected that noobs on a code base, even experienced people on a code base, you still have to you got to get to know the code base. You got to get to know the protocols in the new place of work. So I wouldn't be too concerned, but just, you know, spend some time, spend a little extra effort here and there to learn it. Ask questions initially. Don't ask too many questions. Bother them, but you know, you'll be good. You'll be good. How we doing here? All right. Thanks for the likes, guys. Appreciate it. We're halfway there. 50% on the likes. Still a fail, but I appreciate the more likes. I'm learning Python. Which library should I use to learn about bot making app? I want to make a bot service which notifies people about the availability of vaccine retrieving knowledge off the web SI. So I'm not sure what you're asking me. Okay, so I think if I understand, you want to, Mr. Tripathi, you want to scrape the web. You want to scrape the website. So yeah, there are Python scraping libs out there. Python is actually pretty well known for that. And once you write your Python application, you scrape a site, you capture all that text, and you maybe put it to a web page. I would use something very lightweight for that, like a Flask or something. And then what you could do is you could run that on a cron. You can run that on a server cron that calls the Python, the py file, your application, on a periodic basis. If I understand your question. Stef, I'm currently attending Full Stack Web Dev Academy. I learned all of the fundamentals. I want to transition fully to web design and learning WordPress and Webflow. Quick thoughts. Well, it's good. You got the fundamentals down. So what I would do is I would jump into WordPress, just Vladimir. I would just download it, install it, start playing with it, install themes, try editing themes a little bit. What else is there? Same thing with Webflow. You can get a free account, start playing with it. That's a good combination, by the way, if you want to freelance. Those are good tools that could give you a certain advantage in the marketplace. So, yeah, there you go. Hello, Master. How are you doing today? I am doing fantastic. I hope you guys are doing well as well. What do you think about Khabib, the MMA GOAT? Well, I think he's a super good fighter, that's for sure. You cannot argue that. Let me do a little, so you guys who are new, I'm going to recommend you go here. There's links below. You go to my CODER'S Career Path webinar. You sign up to my newsletter. You get a free 29-minute video that discusses almost all the major languages, C++, C, Java, Python, PHP, JavaScript, and others. And it breaks down what kind of apps you'll be building with each language and what kind of job you will get, what kind of company you will likely get. So check that out, CODER'S Career Path, links below. And if you want to start learning how your brain operates, this is free. It's called Lizard Wizard KOMODO, which is based on my Lizard Wizard course. Sign up and you start getting a task that you can do on a regular basis. Yeah, so there you go. So let me go back to the questions. Hello. Hello from Discord. Hey, as always, great content. Hopefully now my name is not difficult to pronounce. Jorge Flores. I think I got it part way. I'm like 75% Flores. I got the last. Jorge Flores. 75%. Devin Parker. See, that's easy for me. Is it bad that I want to legally start a site on the dark web? Well, I don't know. Be careful about the dark web, because the dark would be depending on what happens there, you can be in the dark prison cell for a long time, and you can make a lot of money without risking that legally. Hey, Stefan Meshik, what is your opinion on naming conventions? I go from macro to micro. So let's say you have user accounts you're going to generate. Basic example. You don't name your variables and your database fields like first name, last name. You start with the macro to the micro. Name first, name last, user address, that kind of thing. So when you go from the macro to the micro, you're going to see, is this going to facilitate the whole coding process as you write your software? So yeah, also use self-describing names. You want to have clear variable names that tell the coder exactly what's going on with those variables. You'd be surprised. It seems nonsensical, right? But you'd be surprised how many code bases I've checked into where like the variable names are misleading sometimes. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on that. I just read some about composition versus inheritance. It amazes me that most of us are taught inheritance is a no-brainer. It just amazes me that most of us are taught inheritance is a no-brainer. Yeah, no, composition is the best way. You use inheritance rarely. Why? Because inheritance is inherently brittle. So you want to use composition if you want to reuse code from other objects. And if you want to create contracts or consistency in terms of the interfaces across your code base, you use interfaces. Or abstract classes at best. So yeah, that's my experience with that. If you don't understand that, check out my courses below. I just got my first job in front-end web development. What are your tips being actually helpful in the team as a beginner and making best impressions? It's remote work, by the way. Well, first of all, I get familiar with the job at hand. I suppose if you're doing front-end web development, I guess you're working on new projects all the time. Well, just get familiar with their working practices. Perhaps if they're using a framework, get familiar with that framework, of course. And just be very communicative. Learn to communicate with people very well. Yeah, that will help a lot. All right, reading it now, it's good. All right, sorry, inheritance fans. Reading what, the OOP, I guess? I don't know. Can you get a remote job without experience? Yes. Laugh loud, loud. I'm a little tardy. My bad. No worries. I wish I could like 169 times, Stef. Me too. I appreciate that. All right, so 63, not bad. Come on, thumbs up. Hello from Lithuania again. Any tips on how to manage time? Landed my first developer job a few weeks ago. Congratulations. And since it's a remote job, I spend way over 8 hours a day working on my code. Well, you got to discipline yourself, Ivan. You don't want to burn yourself out. But since it's a new job, I don't know, it's your first job. First job, you got to put a little extra into it, just to get your chops up to speed as quickly as possible. Chops are chops, your ability to write code efficiently. Just, always prioritize. Don't look for work that doesn't need to be done. Try to prioritize the code that you're writing, okay? I hope that helps. I'm currently learning HTML, CSS, JavaScript. I'm going to learn backend, but I want to make some money freelancing. Give me some tips, please. The web is the best stack to freelance with as a general rule, so you're in a good space. You will maximize your freelancing options by getting into PHP. And where that will lead you often is in WordPress world. So I would get into PHP. So again, links below. I tell people I have courses because I remember I've had several people say, I've been watching your videos for months. I was wondering if you have any courses. Like, what? Yeah, below my courses, interactive training. You'll learn super quick. Just read the reviews. Just go Studioweb, Montreal. Just type in Studioweb, Montreal, Studioweb courses, and you'll find my courses. You can read the Google reviews and you can make your decision there. Stunts for Lovers. Loves channel. I love your name, by the way. So that's cool. All right, thanks for the likes, everybody. What do you think about SQL for Java? SQL for Java. I don't know what do you mean by that? You mean writing SQL code while writing Java code? Commonplace, if that's the case. I've done a bazillion hours of that. I just want to see my name across the screen. All right, Nicholas. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Your wish is my command. There you go. I think that's pretty cool, right? Hello from Turkey. Good vibes. Okay, we'll put this down here. 108 people. Come on, guys. Hit the like button. Yeah, 108. Yeah. Yeah. See, this is what happened. Here's the rule. When I was doing my streams at a regular time, on a regular basis, I would get 200, 300, 400 people on a live stream. Now it's less than 100. That's what happens when you're not consistent, you know. Should we keep drinking something while code? If yes, which drink would you suggest while code? You mean while coding? Well, coffee helps with the cognitive. Water is good. Got to keep your brain lubricated. Yeah, that's for sure. How are we doing for time? Okay, 35 minutes. Wow, time flies. We're having fun. All right. Which of your courses would you suggest to get your stable understanding of programming basics you were often talking about? Well, I would do my Python course. You're going to learn basics of the Python language and OOP, object-oriented programming. With Python, you can take my JavaScript course. If you did my JavaScript, PHP, and Python course, you're going to get a very well-rounded understanding of programming, because when you learn your second and your third programming language, it gives you insight into the previous two. So, but you know, if you're totally new, I would suggest the Python course. Yeah, I think you'd find the Python course is very useful. Let me go. I'm going to do it. So this is my Lizard Wizard Advanced Psychology course. Especially if you want lizard dating techniques, this is the course for you. You can read some of the reviews here. Oh yeah, here's a Lizard Wizard student. So anyway, reviews from Google, right? 4.9, not bad. So let me show you the Python package. Here it is. So you got the Python 3 package with certification. This includes my interactive training course, 6 hours of video, code challenges and quizzes, and you get the certification option as well. You can see everything you're learning here. You learn to build games, you learn OOP, you learn about manipulating files, a whole bunch of different stuff. So it's a good foundational course. Once you do this, you're going to have a pretty decent understanding of Python. All right, let me go back. This music will make you younger. Are the PHP docs good enough for learning PHP deep? Yes. If you understand fundamental PHP, OOP, fundamental constructs, then I would be building things for real for PHP, which is going to force you to explore different things you might not explore. And also you can start exploring the PHP docs. The best way to deepen your knowledge as a developer is to build real things. Trust me, to build real things. Like I used to tell people that in the martial arts gym, the boxing gym. The best way to learn to be a good fighter is to fight. Just get in there and fight. Great thing about coding is as you jump into the real world of coding, you do real projects, you can't get your nose broken, you can't get knocked out, unlike boxing. So yeah, get your fundamentals and jump into the real thing. Spotify interview with economics. Really? Okay. I've been doing a few interviews, and in all honesty, I forget some of them. So I did one actually for a hosting company. Here it is. Cloudways. So Cloudway interview with developer and Studioweb founder Stef. So this came out May 7th. When's that? A few days ago. So you may want to check that out. Link is here. Cloudway is a hosting provider. I did an ad for them recently. So picture of my desktop. Anyway, all right, that's it. So there's another interview I did. All right, let's go on. Hey Dave, how are you, man? This is the official salute of the channel. Let me just brighten this image a bit. Okay. What else do we got here? Yeah, cheers, SJ. Is your French good? Le français. Oh, hold on. Is your French good? My French is not bad. I can speak le français. Je parle français. Mais c'est pas souvent que je parle français. Ça veut dire il y a des fois que j'oublie les mots en français, mais je parle français. Yeah. Can we get more thumbs? Yeah, please. How are we doing? Oh, well, 78. It's not bad. We're getting close to 80. Not bad. Is drag and developer are disappearing? What's your advice? Drag and developer. I'm not sure what you mean by that. No, development is not disappearing. There's no way. Bailey, thank you for your course. It has helped me with my developer imposter syndrome, and I'm going full-time on my native app dev with some freelancing on the side. Hey, congratulations, dude. Bailey, you're talking about Lizard Wizard. Lizard Wizard is the key to life. Now I suggest to everybody who's starting to learn development, they do Lizard Wizard first, and then your development path will be like super fast. By the way, if you've never been to my channel before, one of the things I'm known for is I have the best bokeh in the live stream game. Look at this hand bokeh, is unbelievable. That's blurry hand. Look at that. That reason alone is a reason to watch my show. Just this doesn't get better. Thanks, man. Yeah, CA is crazy. My best friend is in Mississauga. Canada is crazy. Heard that when you fly in, you have to stay quarantined in a hotel for 3 days. Yeah, I call it Trudeau Hotel. It's so crazy that a friend of mine, he's in Florida now, he's had 2 vaccines, which means, it's the safest it's going to get. And even they're going to force him to stay in a hotel, even though he's had 2 vaccines. Makes no sense. Science has left the room. Robert Robinson. Hey, Stefan, appreciate all your videos and scenic views throughout the years. Thanks. Hey, no problem. Thanks for watching throughout the years. Very cool. I recommend CODER'S Career Path. It's full of information. Thanks. Cool. Yeah, he's CODER'S Career Path. He is referring to here. It's free, by the way. You should join. CODER'S Career Path webinar. Free 29-minute video. It's going to teach you a lot. If you're new to code, watch this video. It's going to help you understand different types of career paths you can take as a developer. And it's free. It's free. Best way to learn Vue.js. You should know your foundations, HTML5, CSS3, and JavaScript. Then download Vue and just start learning. Composition FTW on 100%. I am now using Degoogled Chromium. The internal politics at Mozilla is why Firefox is so buggy. I used to contribute to Firefox and MDN, a Django app. They only expect PR from political ideologues. I use composition over inheritance. That's why I like Flutter, Kiev, and Godot. They are built around that. Yeah, that's the way to do it, man. Composition over inheritance. You see, when you're building your object layer in object-oriented programming, there's all these different approaches. In object-oriented programming, one of the key constructs, one of the key tools that they provide is something called inheritance, where you basically have one object that is sort of like the baseline, and you can inherit, like you're inheriting the money from your dead dad. You can inherit the code there and put into a new object. The problem with that inheritance, it can create very brittle code. Brittle meaning easily broken, easy to break. And the whole point of object-oriented programming is to make your code non-brittle. So object-oriented inheritance is just something generally you only do on a very rare occasion when you're building a fundamental structural objects that are not going to change. They're immutable objects like you'd see in the base API of a language itself. I don't know if that makes any sense, probably talking gibberish to a lot of you people, but trust me, use composition over inheritance most of the time. I just want to put a picture of a cat on the dark web with the caption, "Curiosity killed a cat, mainly because I can." Well, that's okay, I guess. I've never been on the dark web, as far as I know. Of course, if I was ever on the dark web, I probably wouldn't say anything. But just, you can make plenty of money doing legal stuff. In fact, huge money with no risk. So that's my recommendation in terms of build things. Don't hack things. A lot more money in building things. I'm in penetration testing. I want to shift to application security, especially in web or model dev. Any advice is, start with the basics, dude. Beg that. Just start learning how to code. Start with the web stack. And away you go, man. It's good. Stef, I purchased a book some months ago. It's the popular Head First Java. It's worth reading as I take your beginner's classes. Yeah, Head First Java is a good book. I used to have that book, actually. The first edition way back in the day. So good stuff. Anissa the Queen is giving us a good suggestion. Oh, hold on. It's Nicholas again. Give me a second. Here we go. I have 5 years experience as a front-end developer, but I'm not finding any work. I've had 10 interviews, but nothing has landed. Any advice? Well, it looks like two things are possible there. It could be that your interviewing skills need a little work. It could be that it's just a temporary market because of COVID. What I would do is, first of all, you had work before. So what I would do is look around the job market and see what they're looking for. Maybe they're looking for Vue.js developers. Maybe you got to learn that. Maybe they're looking for React. Maybe you got to learn that. Another thing you can do, and it will broaden your opportunities, is get into some server-side programming as well. And you just open up many more opportunities for jobs. But don't give up. Don't worry about it. It's just a numbers game. What is the most preferred language to write? Your most preferred language? It's all very specific. So Scotty says, what is your most preferred language to write in? It's very specific on the type of work that I'm doing, right? That said, it really comes down to my mood. Sometimes I like writing certain languages. Like I like strongly typed languages, believe it or not. I like C# a lot. I like Java a lot. Strongly typed languages are just languages where I won't get into details, but you have to be very specific about what the code is doing, and there's a satisfaction to it. The problem is very slow to write in, so it depends on what you're doing. How are we doing for time? Hours 47 minutes. Wow. How are we doing? Likes. All right, 89 likes, 142 viewers. Not bad. If you can give me some more thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. If you're new to my stream, my name is Stef. I'm the 169-year-old developer. No joke, that's my real age. I set up a Discord server about a week ago because people were asking me to do it. So I'm going to suggest, link below, here it is. Oh, here, hold on, let me click on it. There we go. So here's the Discord server. You can join it. We have over 800 people. We got different channels. It's a pretty serious crew, and it's just a way to interact with each other, the community, when I'm not online. So I invite you to take a look. Links below. All right, let's answer some more questions. Mr. RD says, I got my first job at 29 years old. Congratulations, dude. Big thumbs up on that one. Your channel and the Web Fundamentals course helped me out massively. I appreciate it, Stefan. Congratulations, dude. Thanks for letting me know. I'm glad when I'm able to help people out. That's my legacy. Good. How old are you? 169. Wow, Alan, you're from Westmount. Hey, cool, man. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, I used to live in Westmount. I lived on Dorchester near Green a long time ago. Good. I'm there all the time. I go to Bagels on Green all the time. Why Ruby isn't a good language? Ruby is fine, man. It's just a joke. Are you familiar with PLSQL? I have not used it, but that's, I think that's Oracle's, right? I have not used it. If so, what is the difference between using something like PLSQL or Java for databases? I don't understand the difference. Okay, yeah, so PLSQL, I believe, is Oracle's version of SQL. SQL is a database language, so it's a coding language designed to interact with databases like Oracle, like MySQL, like, there's many others. So, what are Postgre, as an example. So, PLSQL is just a flavor of it. It's a different version. So basically, Oracle took SQL, which is a standard. I think it's called ANSI SQL. Yeah, it's ANSI SQL. And that was developed, I don't know, in the 60s or maybe in the 70s. And so Oracle, the company, took that base and added to it. If PLSQL is Oracle's SQL, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure, but I'm not sure. So Java for databases, you're probably talking about an ORM, which is a layer of data code, Java code rather, that talks to databases. So it's trying to hide SQL from you. Behind the scenes, it's firing off SQL commands. Typically, if you're going to be a full stack developer, you're going to learn, especially if you're in the Java world, you're going to have to learn some SQL, but you're also going to learn the database access layer that Java has available for you. There's different ones. Thanks for the thumbs up, guys. Appreciate it. It's just good for the Google algorithm, you know. Vladimir, you're the best, Stef. Have a great rest of the stream. Good night. Cheers. Thanks for joining. I just got my first job as a dev, but I feel like I'm not good enough. Any advice? It's just normal because you're just starting out. Don't worry about it. Just slowly, you'll get more confident and you'll, as you write more code. But don't worry about it. This is normal. Everybody feels a little nervous when they're starting anything new. Yeah, but if you want, I'll shamelessly self-promote. If you want to help with your fears and your imposter syndrome, check out the Lizard Wizard. Where is it? Lizard Wizard courses. It's my advanced psych training course. Will help you with your imposter syndrome, with your fears. I'll help you learn more quickly. Will help you dating. You get Lizard Wizard dating techniques. It covers a whole bunch of stuff. It's 2.5 hours or so of training. Yeah, people really enjoy it, and I recommend it to everybody. If you don't know, I have a background in psychology. I'm not a psychologist, but I studied that. That was my major in university, and I've been keeping up to date with certain things. But I also throw in stuff I learned from martial arts and business and meditation even. So yeah, it will help you out. 17 and girl 16, I don't know what that's all about. Is there a special reason why many websites I've come across these days have domain name extensions like IO and AI? Yeah, it's just because it's popular now. Number one, it's popular. AI, IO, it's kind of short. It's cool. Also because all the .coms and the .nets and the .orgs, they've all been taken. So that's why. Are there any resources to design guide for someone who's not a designer? Yeah, you know, I don't know if I put that in my new courses. I used to provide design guides, like rules of, basic rules of design, but you might want to look at, look up some articles on that. There's basic rules of UI design, like white space, alignment, font use, color matching. These are principles that will, if you understand them, they'll improve the quality or the look of your site by quite a bit, or your application. So I recommend you look into that. If you could recommend a language that covers most IT fields, web, mobile, desktop, etc., which one would you recommend based on your experience and comfort with it? For the most flexibility, you want to do the web stack. So it's a few languages: HTML5, CSS3, JavaScript, and then you got a bunch of options for the server side. I would start with those three, the web stack. That will help a lot. So you can either get my book if you like reading, or you can do my Studioweb courses, up to you. So this is my book. And that will allow you to do web, mobile, desktop, etc. The web is the key, is the future of programming, in my humble opinion. Bootcamp I got into is teaching us Angular and Java or C#, prepping us for apprenticeship. Okay, that's cool, man. 10 out. That's good. They're all viable. Are there any resources you recommend for Django? If Matthew is on, he would probably be able to suggest that to you. I know there are good Slack channels where you got the Django guys hanging out and girls. I would also look at, well, assuming you know, if you know your way around Python, you know the web, you have to understand the web stack. You have to understand HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to work with Django because you're doing web. Then I would just go to the Django site and just install it, configure it, and start asking questions. Apparently Django could be a little bit of a headbanger to get your head wrapped around it, but just keep working at it. There's money in it. Why do some coders spend so much money on fancy keyboards and monitors to make them look like flamboyant nerds? Because they're flamboyant nerds, I guess. I don't know. Spreken the Dutch. Do you speak the Dutch? I don't. I recommend this keyboard here. Best keyboard I've ever used. Can you see it? I shouldn't cover the logo, actually. There we go. This is the Logitech keyboard. Come on. Yeah, we're not getting. There we go. It's the Logitech keyboard, and it's an amazing keyboard. I really highly recommend this keyboard. And I got the mouse that goes along with it as well. The MX Master 3. It's a little dirty. The MX Dirty Master. But I never have to clean the bloody thing. That's what I like about it. It just feels really good. It's a good keyboard. And it's minimal. It doesn't look, it's not like flashing lights everywhere. What is the best PHP web server for high concurrent traffic websites? The best PHP, well, I think it's Nginx. Nginx. You want to install Nginx on that. That's what we use for Studioweb. Yeah, we still use Nginx. I have some knowledge of Python, CSS, and HTML, and was wondering if I should continue on Django trackpath or should I go for WordPress. Depends on the type of work you want to do. It depends on the type of work you want to do. All right, so I'm going to, we're in this for an hour, so I'm going to answer a couple more questions, and then we're got to go. All right, I asked this the other day, but couldn't stay around for the answer. Thoughts on Udacity and the job market, JS? I don't know, I haven't looked at Udacity for a long time, so I couldn't say. JS market is big, though. Why is Java so inheritance-based? Well, it's okay to inherit off of the core Java libraries, no, core Java objects or classes. But beyond that, I wouldn't do it. It's just the way the community learns, right? When Java came out, and it evolved over time. And so back in the mid 90s to late 90s, inheritance was used a lot. And then over time, the community learned that it should be used less. I'm new here. Which language do you best suggest for us to learn or upgrade? Which courses do you offer? Mustafa, thanks for joining the stream. Look below. You'll find links. You can check out the courses. I recommend the web stack if you're new to coding. And I have a complete web developer course. We'll teach you HTML5, CSS3, JavaScript, PHP, SQL. And that's a good way to get going. Once you understand this stuff, you'll be able to pivot and really decide which way you want to go. You might stick with the web stack, or you might go somewhere else. All right. What else is there? What are your thoughts on inheritance on square extending rectangle? I think it is wrong because a rectangle class has public set width and set length, which square can't use. Also, why? Well, that's it. It's that's that. Well, you would, yeah. So because the rectangle is a public method set width, which square can't. Well, that's it. That's you're describing one of the basic weaknesses of inheritance there, I suppose. It is necessary to do code separation on PHP scripts, so that's the HTML codes written in HTML files and include scripts, which there are so many queries in between. Even when, yeah, that's what I would do. I was even more precise about that, if you will. I was going to use another word, where I would not even have iteration code within my HTML view pages. I would actually generate UI widgets in my object layer. So whether it be PHP or Java or C#, whatever, I would actually create my widgets, my HTML widgets, and then pass those up to the views as opposed to iterating in the pages. But that was just me. Do you have a degree in computer science or just psychology? I have a degree in neither. I left university after a certain period of time because my business was starting to take off. That was one of the reasons anyway. So I couldn't be a full-time student and run a business that was growing. So I left. What are some specific services that I can offer as a freelance full-stack dev? Devant. Okay, I'll leave you with this. I think that you have to look at the local market. You might find yourself doing a combination of things. Initially, that's what you probably will do. You probably see yourself installing, configuring WordPress, maybe writing WordPress plugins. You might find yourself using Webflow. You might find yourself an e-commerce implementer, whether it be with Shopify or just raw implementation directly with Stripe or PayPal. You have to feel that one out. And once you feel that out, then you'll be able to start specializing and optimizing your workflow. Oh, so many questions. I won't be able to get to them, everybody. Sorry. All right. Well, thanks for joining the stream. It's been over an hour, so I'm going to have to let you guys go. One last question. Is PHP Laravel the best PHP framework? It is, in my opinion. It's the best one. It's by far the most popular. Do you use those number keys? Too wide nowadays for me. I do actually. I do when I'm doing some spreadsheet work. I'll be using the number keys. I don't know if they have a version of this Logitech keyboard without the number keys. I highly recommend it. It just feels really good. But that's up to you. All right. So how we doing here? All right, guys. Thanks for joining the stream. Please give me a thumbs up. Join the Discord. Link below if you want to keep discussing with people. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Maybe around the same time. What time is it now? Maybe around the same time. All right. We'll talk soon. Ciao, ciao.